Hello everybody, welcome back to Feldy, an app for Farming Simulator 11 created by Farmer Yip. I have my timer going with a timer from my good friend Eustace Farmer, or Atomic 67 as he came to be known in later years. Really appreciated his friendship and his mentorship on making these videos, although I have to say as hard as he tried to turn me into a YouTuber, I don't think it quite, I don't know that it quite turned out. Now, why are you turning around, Combine? Yeah, I don't think he knows why either, so we're going to just help him out, and we're going to come take care of this area of the field that he overlooked. Meanwhile, we have a cultivator going down in field number 21. And let's see if we can just clean this up here. It's incredibly steep. So we'll just see if we can sneak our combine back through here. Yeah, see it, maybe if we lifted our header up. I think the header sometimes is rubbing the ground. Yeah, if we pick it up, it's corn, so we can go ahead and do that. Oh, we'd never turn around on a hill like this steep, but we can do that if we want. And here is what we suspend reality. I think it turned around on higher mode because it kind of fell off the hill and ran out of crop as kind of a result. So let's give this another try. Oh, it don't like that. Keep my header up. Try this. Alright, let's see if he'll go. No, now he's turning. You know, I may need to totally reset the higher mode on this. And I'm afraid in order to do it, as you notice, I have no background. Oh, oof! There's a sharp edge. You know, that what that probably means, what I should do is, for the sake of this combine, is instead of just driving through a fence, which we would never do in real life, of course, is just cut a strip up here so that we have kind of room to turn around. We can help our guy out. I'm trying to remember if this is the last field of corn that we have. Wow, it just wants to skate on the side of that there hill. So we have to keep our header up. Get this last little bit on the edge. Turn this off. Maybe it'll help us back up a little bit quicker. Alright. Alright, dude. You know, I wonder if I frankly just need to harvest the rest of this. Is that what I need to do? I think it's what I need to do. I am commandeering this harvester and taking over because the hired help is about worthless. Worthless on a hill. You know, it's just a shame sometimes the hired help really doesn't know what to do when you have an oblong-shaped field. Frankly, I don't even know if we as humans know what to do with it. So we'll just take care of it this way. It looks like we're almost full, but I don't have my HUDs at the moment. Maybe I could turn it. Yeah, see, that's what's going to happen. If I turn it on, it's got that silly box up here. And I don't know why it's there. So, tell you what. Let me just keep them more 95% full. We'll get rid of that ugly box up there. I'm going to take him over here and we're going to field unload him. Alright, we got 451 gallons. We'll just zip on over here and take care of... Oh, who's a ding-dong that parked him so close to the fence? Alright, we'll zip around here. Once again, we could never do this in real life on account of the hill. I don't think the machine would swing up quite like that, but enjoying the hills nonetheless. And I think we're going to need to head on over the hill with that load. But first, yeah, we're empty now. We'll see if we can finish our harvest over here and take care of this corn. You know, there is one other field of corn now that I recall. I think there was one we planted way up on top in, let's see, it'd be field 20, whatever this one is in here. Whatever this, yeah, I don't think it's 20. Well, it's something down here. It was kind of up on top. But I think there is another field of corn. It's one that we planted already before we just decided to kind of take a pause and harvest the fields that we have. And then my intent is that we'll plant everything kind of all at the same time. And like I explained in a previous video, I've already done some work on here to reset the time. Oh boy, come on, fight your way over there. Reset the time that that it takes to grow a crop, because it happens very quickly in game, and so we kind of slowed it down a little bit so that, you know, it's that annoying problem that happens in these older versions when you would plant a field and before you're even done planting it, you already have crop growing on the other end of your field. It was a little bit harder to suspend reality, so hopefully now we'll have at least over a couple day period that it'll take to actually grow the crops. Filling up our harvester once more. This is a little better up here, a little flatter. So our combine operator, namely us, we don't have to stop at the end of every row to clean out our britches. And I don't know if anybody watching this has in real life had to harvest steep hills. Maybe I've mentioned before, maybe I haven't. When I grew up, I worked for a number of summers on a farm called Lone Oak here in Oregon where I live. And we had hillside combines that are able to handle the contours of the earth. And we had some areas that were steep, but we didn't have a lot of steep ground. I know there are some areas of the U.S. and in Europe where there is very steep harvesting conditions. And I'd be curious, anybody listening to this, if you have worked in a harvesting situation where it was really steep. And do tell, I mean, was it this steep? I mean, you can just you can just tell that it is crazy steep in this field. And I still maintain I don't think we would see that in real life, that something this steep would be harvested. But if it was, we would surely need different equipment than what we're using right now. But if you have harvested those steep hills, I always enjoyed the hills. I thought they were kind of a challenge. They could also be a little dangerous, hence the reason for the challenge. But if you have any good stories or could share kind of about what those days were like, I would love to hear about it. One more strip and we are done with this here field. Done. sneak along the edge. And the next field on the roster, I think, is going to be the one to the right, where we have a field of barley in there. We'll probably put it down to windrows, kind of like we did on the other field down the hill a ways. Actually, no, I lied. Let's bang out this wheat over here. It's just a small little field, cash crop, similar to cash crop that we're doing with this barley. Well, our hired help called it quits. You know, that was another limitation of the older versions of the game. They just couldn't figure out how to get turned around sometimes. So that's kind of par for the course. Now, I'm not sure if we should maybe drop our... Tell you what, we're going to drop it right here. And let me see. Yes, let's get him turned around. And we'll get him going again. We still got to go around the edges to help him finish cleaning up the last little bit. At least we'll get him going again. But please remember what way you were going. Oh, for goodness sakes. How does it forget that, I wonder? Alright, let's suspend reality. We're going to have to look and see what our compass is. It's actually pretty good. Let me get him down just a little bit tighter. Alright, so we're going to hold down the 9 key, which we know deletes the course. We'll set it up again. There you go. We're going to take that off. He's going to keep going on his merry way. We'll leave the at there for the moment. Nope, we don't want the at or that. Is this full? 92%. Well, maybe we can come up here and sneak a little bit more corn into it. Like I say, it's going to immediately start slurping out the fuel. 189, 188. But hey, if I turn off my HUDs, I don't have to see that depressing sight. I just know that I need to refill with fuel when I get close to the fuel wagon. And since I already have to take a trip up here just to get more of the corn to offload the combine, I'm gonna just head down over with what I have. I think I'm only 92% full, but that's alright. I'll sneak another drink of fuel while I'm here. You know, and some of this, as we harvest these fields, we're gonna figure out which ones are easier to work in with others. Okay, I think he filled up. Let's get that out of sight. And which ones are pains to work in. And I think the one that we just combined is one of the tougher fields to get through just because of its shape. But we'll see. We'll go in and tear it out just like we're doing on the other. We'll probably use it just like the other fields. But there are several in here that never were planted kind of in the original version of the map. So yeah, we're going to have to make use of all of them. We'll see if we can. And I think once again, I'm just going to head down over the hill. From here, we can see our buildings down there to offload this into the biofuel producer. I think this is my 15th episode of this map. I'd be curious. I realize it's an old game, but I know some of the people watching this are taking time to come here. I know that there are groups of folks out there that appreciate the older version of the game. Sometimes folks that spend almost all of their time exclusively on older versions of the game, and I'd be curious if anybody has downloaded this, given it a try, or what they still appreciate about Farm Sim 11 and the older versions of the game. I know I once found a Discord group where, whipping my trailer out, where it's dedicated to basically Farm Sim 08 and 09, and then they have a little bit of Farm Sim 11 sprinkled in and a tiny bit of some of the newest versions, but it's primarily dedicated to the oldest. And really, there's some pretty talented folks out there that are working to save some mods for those old games. They have maybe 1,500 mods for Farm Sim 09. You look around on the internet, it's very hard to find those anymore. And they're also preserving mods that were made for Farm Sim 08, which was the first version of the game. This thing just, I don't like it when it does that. That's gotta be terrible. I should probably cut that out of the video, but I probably won't. Hopefully nobody gets seasick. Oh, it just takes a lot of sauce. I am getting down in my money. Let's see where it splits me. Alright. Full of fuel. Have just a little bit more to offload. See if our tractor is... Please stop again. Oh, that turkey. You know, the combine was somehow able to figure out a way to keep going back and forth, but for whatever reason, our cultivator guy is not as smart as the combine driver, apparently. And so we need to help him out more. Alright, this should take care of the rest of what we have for the corn. I kind of think I need to sneak down here to pick up my header. And I think for the rest of this, I'm probably going to have the grain table on. Now, please tell me it's going to stay stuck on. These older versions of the game and the header trailers were really kind of a pain sometimes to deal with. This one here seems to be working as long as I remember how to unattach it. Now maybe just... Oh, that's a big old bump. I'll maybe just park this kind of here. Now, I'm going to have to turn this on. Sorry for how that looks. Q to detach trailer. That do it? Now, I don't know. I'm going to just drive right through this here hedge. See if I can hook up this header. Come in cab. Oh, that's just stuttering like crazy. Yeah, these older versions sometimes jump quite a lot. So sorry, hedge, but hey, it looks like I can drive through you pretty easy. Alright, I'm going to go down and take care of this patch of wheat. Get him going on, well... But first, I need to move him out of the way. Oh, it's no wonder Farmy Ip said this was a multiplayer map. There is so much to do. Especially if your hired help keeps quitting on you. I'm beginning to think this guy over here is just being lazy. Sitting here contemplating his navel instead of Shoot, maybe it's lunchtime. What do I know? Instead of working. Park our combine briefly, hop into our Hungarian Raba, and get him going again. Yeah, the combine was somehow able to figure out how to get turned around, even on some of this angled terrain. And maybe another time when we cultivate this, we'll do it a little bit differently, maybe. By... yeah, maybe if we go straight ahead where I'm looking, like with the mouse, if we're looking this way, or working this way, maybe that'd work a little bit easier and it would help do the point out here. Sometimes it can get confused with the angles unless you cut in there just a certain way. And I know all of us learned a lot of those tricks. Oh, you're just not remembering. Alright, let's make this... It's really curious how he forgets when he's done with a job. You know, he just doesn't remember what direction he was going. I thought it would kind of remember it, but evidently it doesn't. Alright, we're going the wrong direction. Alright, we'll come over here, we'll get the wheat going. I don't know that we've cut any wheat. Well, yes, I guess. We did do a field of wheat down over the hill. And once again, this is going to be cut solely for cash. Cash crops. So let's get him going. Just kind of cut in here. It's making a beautiful, massive windrow. I don't know if I should cut all of this freehand or just what I should do. Yeah, it's too jittery inside. Yeah, there's just a small little field kind of right up over the top of our farmyard, which we can look down over here. But even this field is steep. And probably because of its small size, I don't remember spending that much time in it the last time that I played Farming Ipsum map. And when I say last time, I don't mean here recently for these episodes, but back when I played it with my sons. I think we put, I don't remember how many hours, it was 80 some hours I think in it together before we moved on. Actually, I don't think I accessed this field from the right spot if we were supposed to come up to it from the barnyard. Maybe what I should be doing is, instead of selling the grain, is storing it and waiting for a higher price. Trouble is, I don't know when that's going to happen, and I got bills to pay now. Still hanging on with just a little bit of fuel. Alright, so now that I've done one round, surely he can handle doing some self-harvesting here. Oh, shouldn't spread straw all over. Don't have much choice. Alright, so he's probably not going to remember what direction he was going, so let me just delete the AI course, make sure he's as close as possible to 180, and then I'm going to turn him loose again. Oop, except I don't want to... There we go. There we go. Alright, chop chop. Off he goes. This ding dong quit again. Unbelievable. Yeah, you know, I'm guessing he's probably gonna just stop again. So next time, if there is a next time that we come by here, I think instead of doing this, let's see, what orientation would this be? North-south, I guess? I'm gonna try east-west and see if that does a better job. Yep, and he already has changed his orientation of his tires, so I gotta reset him. We'll just hit 9. Get rid of the course. There you go, bud. And we are going to take our corn down over the hill to the biofuel processor. And maybe this time we don't need to stop for fuel because we're carrying a pretty light load. So boy, I wish I knew why it did that. It's like I need to look at the cameras on these vehicles. I'm beyond wondering if it isn't the game, but more the mod itself. Maybe with how the camera is placed on the vehicle, there's a number of pointers that the camera uses to do what it does, and maybe one of those is off. I'm just going to have to check it and see if I can fix it. Maybe. Now, I've learned there are some things I can fix in here. There's other things that have just defeated me. And one of those, as we get into, I did get a tractor-pulled root crop harvester in a previous episode, and at some point I'm going to need to harvest the potatoes and the sugar beets in this map. So one of the things I've looked at is, when I get tired of this tractor-pulled model, well, it'd sure be nice to have a self-propelled, one of those Grim harvesters, or, oh goodness, I don't even know who all the vendors are, but one of those big ones that can harvest more, a larger strip, initially, and not quite as cumbersome. Well, I have found some self-propelled ones for Farm Sim 11, but it's kind of like searching for a hillside combine. There's just not that many options out there, and the ones I do find are just riddled with errors. So maybe I'd put out oops. Does anybody know of a self-propelled root crop harvester for Farm Sim 11 that works and doesn't have any errors? Because if you do, I would enjoy knowing so I can go find it. I've just been kind of scouring the internet looking for one. I have found several, but they're popping errors in the log. They don't work as advertised. They're just, and it's strange. You look them up on YouTube, and you can find examples of those that are working, but the links that they might have included with their videos are long dead and no longer work, because this, like I say, is a pretty old game. But some of them that I've looked for on Mod Hoster, they're there, and they just have errors, and they don't always work. And some of it, I think, is some of the embedded scripts on them. That is really annoying. Maybe I need to smooth the road off. Oh, that's terrible. I'm so sorry for any of those who have to suffer along watching this. But you'll see on YouTube, like these hillside combines, you see them working in the fields. Of course, they don't show you the logs, but they work exactly how you'd expect them to, just fine. But when I go to the links that they say I should use and download these combines, they don't work. They kind of work a little bit, but they don't do the best job. Is this guy figuring out how to turn around? I don't know if he is. Aha, he did. Good for you, lad. Yeah, maybe it's close enough here. The last bit of the field, he's able to do it. Probably by the time we get over here, I imagine we'll have our wheat almost done. Yeah, looks like he is done. Just in time for the bell. You know, I'm going to turn him around because I'll maybe put him here. Head down over to get our combine. Suffice it to say, it is very nice when you find mods that work. And, you know, I don't mind fixing mods or trying to improve them. I just have always wondered, why does somebody kick a mod out to the public when they know it doesn't work? And maybe there's there's been some guys I've read they'll put it out in beta form, or they'll just flat out admit ran out of time, I don't know how, whatever it is, and I kind of understand that. But some of them that are out there that are advertised as working when they're not, I mean, that's just straight up a lie. And I don't know why they do that. Never understood that. But it sure is helpful when they work the way that they're advertised. Like I say, if anybody is aware of a root crop harvester, self-propelled, that it would kind of function like a combine, I guess, I'd be very interested in knowing, because I have a feeling it's going to take me forever and a day to harvest these fields that have, I mean, just they're massive fields in here, and that small little harvester that we have purchased is going to take a little while to get through all that. But we'll make it. We will. It'll just take a while. But thank you so much for coming along for the ride. We got a field of barley here to get going on, and I'll save that for the next episode. And in the meanwhile, you have a wonderful day wherever you're at, and I will see you on the next one. Goodbye for now.